Hello, and welcome back to BSing with BS. I'm your host, Blake Slottick. Today with me, your guest, again, the Grand Morristown Mill photo with a Fruit Ninja watermelon. I'm not exactly sure where I got that watermelon, but I've been putting it in a lot of my content lately just because, I don't know, it's funny if you ask me. I got it a long time ago, though, as a, what would you say, adolescent, maybe when I was a teenager. Pretty sure it came from a campground, and I got it out of a vending machine one time. So, I'm goated at the claw machine. We'll just leave it at that. Hopping on here today because just got to keep the podcast rolling. We're working on getting guests yet, and it's coming together. I'm just more taking my time and figuring out what we are going to do with this show and how to go about it and to properly show, I guess, the insights and the lifestyle that I live, essentially. Because obviously I am making this for other people to listen to and to learn from, but a lot of this is also for myself. Just because me getting these reps where I'm in front of the camera and talking and learning to communicate better has greatly benefited me over the last few years since starting my content journey. And just working on improving them reps, keeping it going and getting more and more fluent and comfortable in front of the camera, even when it's just me and this GoPro sitting here. Just got to learn to be fluent and understand that there are other people essentially listening to this, just not sitting right in front of me. You could say, you guys are listening to this however you hear it, whether that's Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, whatever platform I may have this on that you have found it. So I appreciate you listening greatly. And that's kind of the whole goal of where we're at with content right now in general, like streaming wise, just getting in front of the camera for YouTube. I haven't been making Snapchat videos like I used to, not making many reels as of late, just because I could probably, cook up and make a reel a day or something, just me doing some silly stuff or a joke. But I just haven't been focused on that, I guess. That's not the image that I am trying to put out. You know what I'm saying? I want to be a little more insightful and helping people learn and not necessarily just joke around. I like joking around. I mean, anybody that knows me knows to this point. That's pretty much all I have done is joke around, but we're starting to get a little more serious. Maybe that's not a good thing, Maybe seriousness doesn't need to be had. Maybe it is just a joke, but I like to take things seriously too. So that's where we're kind of at with that. The content plan as of now is to continue pumping out the stream, continue with the podcast. We're going to be getting guests. I was talking to our first guest again today, and we're getting that locked down. Just got to get more of a better system in place myself before I start inviting others onto the show, That way it's just optimized and kind of a smooth process. And there's going to be some learning curves, and there's going to be some, little mini roadblocks, I'm sure, and we'll figure them out as we get to them, but we're just in a big learning phase, But as I've learned and as has been described to me, we're always learning, essentially forever. That's what life's all about, learning. So it makes it nice. Feel like you're making progress, I guess. At least I do when I'm learning things and enacting them in my daily life, and then you can see how they benefit you or maybe don't benefit you, It kind of depends on what you're learning and what you're putting into your life. I didn't mean to necessarily try and go off the deep end there, but that's where we ended up, so. Some other things that I would want to address today. I've just been learning a lot again. Met up with a lot of good friends this weekend and had a good time just hanging out with the guys. Went and got some suits fitted for my wedding coming up. So that was fun. And then yeah, we had a little mastermind with the guys. Learned a lot of different things. We touched on a lot of different subjects. But the main thing I've learned as of lately is working on getting my finances in line. So we're learning more about, cryptocurrencies, ETFs, really anything in the stock market is what we're working on learning right now, and how to get the most bang for our buck and get our money working for us and not, us working for money. Because that's the goal. Generational wealth. To have your money work for you and not you working for it. That's the main plan. But yeah, how we get there, we'll find out. I understand my shrug right there did not translate to the audio, but that little pause, I shrugged if you're listening on audio only. If you're seeing this on video, obviously, then you picked up on it. But yeah, this is an interesting time in life where I feel like I'm in what would you say, like not a lull, because a lot is still happening, and, we are accomplishing things and essentially building the foundation, but a slower point in life, you could say, maybe. Like, not everything is go, 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 and just do this because it has to be done. And it is quite a change up compared to, how I was previously living my life. Over the last few years, I was basically just hit it hard and grind it out, and how fast can I get this done and on to the next, task, essentially. But there's only so many tasks to do, and then it just gets repetitive, and you're doing the same thing over and over just to try and keep that level of busy. And at least personally, that's what I found. And then when that level of busy isn't there, it just kind of creates a lot of uncertainty in life, you could say. And that's where a lot of uncertainty, then, like, it could be stress, it comes from uncertainty. There's all different kinds of things. I've listened to a few different podcasts on it lately, and like, I don't want to just spew to you guys what I hear on other podcasts, but I mean, the term that I heard is that, like, us humans will equate uncertainty with death. Like, we'll make that connection in our minds, because there was a point in time in history, like, when we were uncertain about things, it could obviously lead to that. But in today's society, the repercussions are not as drastic. Little bit of uncertainty isn't gonna lead to death. There's not gonna be we're not living out in the woods anymore where there could be a predator around the tree. We're civilized now, and the uncertainty just leads to, I might not make as much money as I did last week type thing. So, like, it's not anything in my situation, it is not anything to overly stress about. So that's something I've been coming to terms with and learning lately, is just how to deal with and navigate uncertainty, and how to find the certainty that you essentially have. Like, not even certainty, I shouldn't say that, but it comes back to, I would say, like, controlling the controllables. And, like, what can I control in this moment, in this day, in this week, all that kind of things, and focusing on that more than the uncertainty. So that's why we're here podcasting, because I can control me recording this podcast and putting it out. I can't control how many views it gets or how, anything like that, but I can control me sitting here doing the process, putting in the reps and the practice. And that's what I've been focusing on lately, with the stream, with everything like that. Like, I can sit down and have, the control of me doing the reps, essentially. Like, I can sit down and do that work. The outcome, that's not up for me to decide, but I think it'll be good. Seems we're moving in the right direction. And yeah, I would say I am optimistic and have hope for the future. So that's a good place to be always. You always got to be optimistic and have that hope, because that's a big factor, honestly. Like, your mindset around things greatly impacts the event, essentially. Because if you're going in looking for negative outcomes, you're probably going to get negative outcomes. But if you're going in looking for all the positives, you're going to find those positive outcomes. And then, there'll be ups and downs along the process. Like, it's not going to be all we going up, 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 up. And maybe it will be. Hopefully it is. But I got a feeling there's also some down ticks. You ever look at those stock market tracker charts? They go up, 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 and then, there's a little dip always, and then it's back up or down, And it's not necessarily where you can control it or how you can get it going back up, but the more reps, you have that experience, you could say. That's what I think. Like, you have the experience on how to handle the downturn and turn it back into an uptick. And essentially pivot. Maybe you don't have to pivot. Maybe it just takes more consistency. You never know. Sorry, we had to get a drink of water there. We've had 8 shots of espresso today, so mouth's a little dry. It ain't truly 8 shots. It's only double shots, and then I do 2 double shots in my cup with the same ground. So really, it just dilutes the first double shot. I mean, I'm sure there's more caffeine that gets put in the water, but it is not taking like 8 true espresso shots, so I shouldn't even say that. But yeah, espresso is good though. It's like jet fuel. It gets you just fired up. Personally, anyway. I think it does. Maybe it has different effects for you. Let me know. Let me know how espresso impacts your daily life. I would like to know. It does lead to some anxiety and stuff sometimes, though, because my mind just starts turning and wheeling. But that's where the old, mental toolbox comes into play, and refocusing on positivity and goals and outcomes that are beneficial for you and for us and for everyone. Type thing. Yeah. I feel I've been rambling now, and I'm not sure exactly where I was going to go with this. I didn't make any notes for the podcast today, so I figured I'd just, I've been kind of procrastinating this myself, so I just told myself it's time to sit down and get it done. Knock out the second episode. It doesn't need to be this perfect, extravagant thing. It's just the consistency needs to get there and the scheduling, so I can make this a part of my weekly, tasks and continue it moving forward and get it to a place where we are growing and expanding and learning new things. Like today I experimented with a new lighting setup down here in the basement. So if you're watching this on video, let me know how it looks. If I'm overlit, underlit, if I got shadows across my face, I can't really tell. I didn't do too much checking in the GoPro camera, but looks good for now. So here we are, set up, rocking and rolling. Speaking of the podcast, if you would like to be a guest on this podcast, reach out to me. I'm more than welcome to have pretty much anyone and everyone on this thing. We don't have to agree on everything. I'm here to communicate and to learn and just share people's stories, thoughts, what they're working on and all that with the world and my friends and this audience, just to kind of have something that, we can all look back on and be like, oh, I was in this spot at this time. And, and I know a lot of I got other friends also doing similar projects, and it's just like, it's really cool to see, I guess I would say. Like, you're making this now, and then in 2 years you turn around and look and be like, wow, that's where I was at. And now, just perspective. I guess it adds perspective, I would say. And adds just like accountability also. Because, like me necessarily saying this stuff on here isn't going to hold me accountable, but like it's another just layer of being like, oh, okay, I said I was going to do that. Did I do it or did I not? Why did I do it or why didn't I, Maybe it wasn't a beneficial thing, but then if it's a good idea and I just didn't go through on it because I procrastinated or it slipped through the cracks that we had other things going on it would be nice, to have this to look back on and be like, oh, that was a solid idea. Like we should that'll still work and we can enact that. Maybe I'm just fucking nuts and rambling on a random point there, but definitely feels beneficial, I guess, in the moment and as I'm expressing it now. So we'll roll with it. We'll see what happens. Otherwise, what else been cooking lately in life? Had a job interview 2 weeks ago. Not sure if I mentioned that on here yet or not. It was interesting. Learned about myself again. Asked me some questions on stuff I haven't really contemplated lately. Nothing like major or groundbreaking, but like they had asked me how long I would think about working there, and it was just something I never even considered going into the interview. And they kind of took me, had to step back, and then I was, really contemplating is a job for me right now. Obviously, income, yes, sounds nice, but we will see. I don't want to say too much, obviously, as it has not played out yet, but as of now, it's not seeming like a fit for me, but what do I know? Maybe I'll get some different news, or maybe they'll change something up and it'll work out. I'm open to anything. Yeah. Gotta make ends meet. Just because we're chasing this dream doesn't mean we can just throw all the bills and stuff away, right? Be cool if you could just throw them in the shredder, incinerate them, and you ain't gotta pay them. But seems in the current society that we live in, still gotta have a little bit of money to fund stuff and keep life going, sustain my current lifestyle and stuff like that. So it's in the works. We're figuring it out. Been continuing to train for my CDL. Got a test coming up at the end of next month for my license. So yeah, we'll continue to prep for that. We'll see how that goes. What else I've been doing in life? Streaming a lot. That's been my main focus as of lately. Streaming. Worked on using some AI tools to get different clips and stuff so we can start promoting the stream and the YouTube channel more without me having to sit there and edit clips for 4 hours and then I get a 20-second video that isn't necessarily the most engaging thing ever, but that's where AI is helping us. It's showing the virality hooks and kind of compiling videos that should essentially take off online. We will see, I'll report back on how that works, but it's just nice, to take a lot of the editing side away, where even if I don't fully like the clip, I can kind of edit it up a little bit, but we get the basis of the video, dang near like that, like the snap of a fingers versus, like I said, me combing through hours of footage and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool tool. It's called Opus AI that I've been using. And you essentially just upload a full YouTube video, or I've done my Twitch VODs too, that I've streamed, and you just put the link into the AI tool and kind of give it, the parameters of I want a 30 to 60 second video, focus on the funny moments or when I got eliminations or wins, per se, and then you can set it to scrub this section of video, and then it goes through and it'll make you, say, 25 clips. I think it does, somewhere around there. And then it'll even grade the clips on virality, your hook, your this is an engaging post, and it's pretty cool. It's nice to get that feedback and stuff like that, I guess, from somewhere, because my current state, the videos don't necessarily have a ton of comments on them, so I'm not hearing how the audience responds or likes them, and that's a good thing. That's all right. We're in the growing stages. People are coming there, and it helps, you could say, I guess. Helps the learning process a lot too, and it's interesting to see what AI thinks will work compared to what I've done in the past. You could say when forming a short form video, or how I compose storylines of YouTube videos. It's interesting, yeah. to see. I will say though, a lot of the AI videos that I have found and like the clips, some of them just don't even make sense. Like it'll just take the most non-contextual statements and like things and just like try and clump them together and make a storyline. And I'll be sitting here, because like I know the timeline of the YouTube video that I made, so I'll be sitting here like, that's from this part of the video, that's from this part of the video, that's not like, it wasn't even in correlation, but it'll put them together just so it has a viral hook, and then it has an engaging like teaching moment or something. And it's just, yeah. I find it funny. I just laugh, I guess, when I make that kind of stuff. And maybe it's not funny. To each their own. You'll figure it out, but you'll find what's funny for you and what's not. But to me, it's pretty funny. Would be nice though. I like editing in a creative sense, and like when I can do it and want to compile a story. But at the same time, when it's just to like get advertisement clips and stuff like that out, it is nice to have help, because realistically, as long as the post is up and it's getting a few views and people are finding it, like I don't need 1 million people to see it. It'd be nice, don't get me wrong, we want 1 million, and like it would create big traffic. But at the same time, like if I could get 1,000 views and 2-3 people go follow the stream, that's dub city for me, especially in the current state of the stream and stuff like that now. We started just getting a few concurrent viewers all the time. Oh, we're set, like. And that's the road we seem to be on. It's growing. I've gained, 15 followers in the last month, maybe. 2 months, however long I've been consistently streaming now. And a lot of them are just friends and family that are supporting me, which is really nice to see, and I greatly appreciate it. Same with all of you supporting this podcast. If you're watching out there, I greatly appreciate it. Let me know. Hit me up. I would love to have a chat with you and at least tell you thank you. And it's consistently growing. It just takes time, just literally consistency and getting those ads out, the promos and stuff like that, and directing more, what would you say, like audience, what would you say, directing more attention towards the stream, letting people know it's out there, because, how can people tune into the stream if they don't know I'm streaming? Ask yourself that one. So yeah, you gotta have ads and stuff like that going out. And I have been just posting it on like my story for Instagram and Snapchat, but then again, that only gets to the same audience every single time, and I don't need to keep annoying my my friends that I'm playing Fortnite on a Tuesday at fucking 10 a.m. Ooh, kick the stand there for the GoPro. But otherwise, what else we been cooking? That's about it. I think we kind of touched on a lot of the things I wanted to touch on today. I will say I feel like this has gone pretty well. I'm not trying to toot my own horn or anything here, but the way I was thinking this was going to go before I started versus the way it's going is a lot better. So that's good. And yeah, I think we're going to call her there. See you guys on the next episode. If you've enjoyed what you've heard, subscribe down below. Check us out on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. Slotted Guide Service, also on Twitch. And thank you for watching. Check out the Scallywags on YouTube also if you like seeing vlog content. Otherwise, we gonna keep plugging. Thanks for tuning in. This is Blake Slottick with BS and with BS. Have a great day, evening, weekend, month, year. Take her easy. Love you.